Hi guys! So something I kind of have thought to do, because I'm doing resume stuff and all that, I started looking up different resumes and trends that are going on, and one of them is to add a small picture of yourself by your name. And I thought this was a cool idea because it gives like a first impression right off the bat. And I kind of looked through my pictures on Facebook and my phone and all those, and none of them were along the lines of something professional that I would put on a resume. So I decided to do a tutorial for basically a resume picture or any kind of professional picture, or could be used as like your first day of work. So to begin with, I already did one eye, and it's just really neutral, simple. It's about like kind of bringing out your best features and highlighting them without anything being very standoutish, if that makes sense. So I'll get started, and I also just did my hair kind of simple, like it's half up. My major was retail management, so I have a little bit of leeway to be a little trend oriented because my hair color is semi-trend. So I have to keep the rest of it pretty professional, but it's got to make sense all together. And I'll show you kind of like, I'm wearing a shirt from Maurice's, just a really professional shirt, and then obviously you don't want to show any cleavage, so I've got like a little tank top on underneath, and then I've also got a blazer that I'm gonna put over top so that I look even more professional. And you know, it's a picture, so I'm wearing sweatpants because it's gonna be from like here to maybe there, like not a very like whatever big picture. It's not going to be me standing. It's just like a professional, kind of like a school picture in a way. And I saw they have like very neutral backgrounds and stuff like that, so I'll probably just do it up against a wall or something. But yeah, so this is the look. I'll start right away since I talked about it for 2.5 minutes. So I'm gonna start by priming my eyelid. I already have Sin, Urban Decay's primer potion in Sin. I'll get my hair out of the way and maybe, there we go. That should be the right alignment so I can do my stuff. I'm taking Maybelline Tattoo in Barely Branded. Barely Beige is a good one too. It's just a neutral paint pot type product. So it's a good base for everything for a neutral eye. I just pat it on my lid and in the corner a little bit. Now I'm going to take Sonia K. This is a Moroccan palette, so other than it's really dirty inside and out, I'm going to take the neutral shade here. So any neutral shade. This one has some sparkle to it, but it won't probably show up in a picture. So I'd go with something that has like a sheen more than a shimmer usually. If this was like for an interview or your first day, I'd go more for a shimmery sheen. And also that's kind of age appropriate too. If you have more mature skin, shimmer tends to settle, so I wouldn't do that then. And then I'm taking just, this is MAC, I think that was a 224, and this is the 226, so it's what I'm going to use with that dark color. And I'm just going to windshield wiper this in my crease. This just adds dimension without it just being a pearly, sheeny eye. And I just do that because I like to just blend it out. Since this brush doesn't have a lot of product, just a dab, you can use the same brush you put it on to help blend it out. Now I'm going to take this one's a 212, and I'm going to use that same dark color, and I'm just very lightly putting it by my lower lashes. This helps define them, but it's not like having a liner under it. And I don't wet the brush too much, just enough that it helps pick up a little color. And it's definitely my outer third eye that I focus mostly on, and then the rest is just added benefit. So that is actually pretty much done for shadows, except the highlighting part. Excuse me. Now I already have one coat of this mascara on, but I'm going to go in and put a second coat. So I'm curling my lashes at the very base, and then I go about midway and pump ever so slightly, and then at the base again. That just gives a really nice curl. And I'm sorry if there's a weird reflection, like right there, because it's the upper light. Sometimes it reflects, sometimes it doesn't. It depends what it decides to do. So now I'm just sweeping my mascara on, and this is L'Oreal's Butterfly Effect. Lash Out Butterfly Effect. And I really love this mascara. Anything that says butterfly I tend to gravitate towards, and then a lot of times it's like, well, I just bought this because it said butterfly, and it doesn't even work that well. But this one I love. It's if you see the brush, it's very strange. It's got like a lot longer bristles, because this side looks like it could be my Maybelline Rocket Volume, and then it's got these elongated brushes that help wing out your eyes on the edges. And I think it works, which is surprising, because I just kind of thought it was going to be a silly looking brush that doesn't really do what it's supposed to, but I like it. So now I'm going to go on, because I want my makeup to be very neutral, I'm using Benetint, and this just gives me a very pretty flush, and I'm going to use it very sparingly so that it doesn't take over the look. But I like the Benetint because it also tends to look like you're glowing from within. It looks very natural, not like a powder just sitting on your skin. And I'm just bringing that on the apples of my cheeks where I would naturally have some color. This is one of the most natural blushes I've found, but I really only use it when I'm wearing foundation, because otherwise my cheeks are naturally ruddy, so when I put this on, it's just ridiculous, and I can't pull off like an intense natural cheek, I feel like. But with the with foundation, it just brings back my natural color. It looks like, woo. So it depends what your cheek kind of colors look like. And one way to tell is pinching your cheeks. If you don't have a natural flush going on, just pinch your cheeks and you will be able to see what kind of color radiates from them. Now I'm gonna go on, and I did very minimal contouring and everything because I want it to be very natural. So I'm actually going to do just a little bit of highlight and dab this on. Usually I straight on draw it on. And in a picture, you know, you still want to have that healthy glow. So that's why I'm not completely skimping on highlight. And I'm just taking my blending brush, the 224. I'm using that on all the areas except my brow bone, because I have a different highlight for that. And then I'm going to take, for the larger areas, my 130 brush, and I'm using Amber Diamonds. This just helps blend it out, plus it gives a really pretty sheen on top. But Watts Up is a cream, so it helps. I just like using them both together. So I use it on my cheekbones, my temples, my brow bone. Usually I use both. And then the bridge of my nose, not towards the bottom, because that can look greasy, but a little bit is okay, but I don't use the stick and the powder. And then my Cupid's bow, and that should be all of it. All the areas I use it on. Now I can go back, because my mascara should be dry. I'm going to use the same curling process, just bottom of my lashes, top of my lashes, or middle, and bottom again. So that's my lashes done on top. That kind of threw me when the door, they must have hit something on the door and it made me jump. Okay. I'm using L'Oreal gel eyeliner in black. This is just a standard for me, and I'm only using it on my upper lashes to help define them because, again, more natural the better, but I like, it's kind of like using products to help your natural effects, so that helps my lashes look thicker. And also I'm using a tiny bit, this is like the least liquid eyeliner I've ever done, and I'm just taking it and following that bottom lash again. Barely extending it. And then I'm only starting like halfway and just using the thinnest little line. So it's like the eensy teeny tiniest little like winged out effect. It basically is just extending it so that it looks a little bit like my real lashes. This one, and I always compare them because then you can see like, okay, this one's longer, this one's shorter. Either I have to extend one or shorten the other, which is a lot more work. So there. And now I can go and do my bottom lashes, which is, I'm using the Rocket Volume Express just because it gives like a fairly natural effect. And I find the brush fairly easy to work with because the bristles are really short. Even though the brush itself is quite large, the bristles are just short and stubby, so it helps me get in there. Now I can take, I'm using MAC Pearl pigment. So this is just kind of a yellowed golden white sheen. And I'm going to use it on my 266 brush to go in my inner corner, right by the tear duct. And this just helps naturally brighten up my eyes. It's like undetectable unless you really know makeup. So, and then I'm going to use it on my 2-4 on my brow bone to help. It's a loose powder, so I do find I even have trouble not picking up too much. But that should be good. So it just adds a sheen and highlights under your brow. So that's eyes completely done. Now the very last thing is lips. And I kind of debated on this because I wanted a My Lips But Better, and I don't have many shades like that. Either it's going too neutral territory, or it's going too pinky or too peachy. So this is kind of a color that I didn't expect to be in My Lips But Better, but it is. This is MAC in Plumful, but because it's a luster, it's a very much sheer color. So this is my lips, which are patchy and not good because they're dry and I bite my lips when I'm nervous. But you can see with just the bottom coat, it's like a more intensified color. Plus my lips still had a little bit of foundation on them. So that's that. And you can leave it like this. This is a more professional look because it's just the sheen instead of gloss. But over it, if you like to layer, I'm using Electrolush just because it's like the same color in lip gloss form. And you can do this and then blot and it'll create even more natural effect. But this brings out those tones in my cheeks too because it's just a slightly more intensified color than my natural lips. So it's My Lips But Better. And that's the finished look then. Switch my hair down. I'll insert as the tag picture, I think they call it on YouTube. I'll insert that as like the, is it a tag pic? I don't know. The picture that, you know, pops up when you click on the video, I'll insert the picture that I use on my resume for that because I'm going to wait a couple hours because if you wait a couple hours, your makeup just naturally settles and looks more natural. Your real skin starts to glow through in certain spots and it just looks more natural. So I'm gonna let it just sit for a little bit. Obviously I'll be reapplying lipstick possibly, but otherwise it'll help it just look more natural. And also I took out my piercings. I still have the backings in, which we'll see if they show up in the pictures. Then I will take those out and put them back in right away because they will close up. So this just is a way of looking more professional and having a better picture for my resume. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you later. Bye.